Let my people go.
The Lord of Hosts will do battle for us.
Hello brothers and sisters, how are you all doing? I hope that you guys are doing good. I love you and I miss you. Things are still where they were at the point of the last video, just a lot of attacks, a lot of spiritual warfare. I still find myself when I go to sleep, I'm finding myself in other realms, other dimensions, other kingdoms. I'm not sure where I am, but there is just a lot going on. As I've said in multiple videos, the Lord has showed me that I am kind of like a spy for Him, and so I think I'm sent into these other realms. I not only do work for the Lord, but I feel like I spy out the enemy's kingdom. Sometimes it seems as if they figure out that I'm there as a spy and there is a type of battle going on. And then sometimes it's as if I'm just there to collect information and to help others out. You know, one time, like I said, I was in heaven. I was talking to my guardian angel, and I asked her, I said, what am I doing here? And my guardian angel said, you're here to work. I was like, okay. Now, my guardian angel was a really tall male angel, but for some reason, he would take a human form of an elderly black woman. And so whenever, you know, he would talk to me, he would take this female form. And I will never forget what he told me. He said sometimes God takes a secondary group of extraordinary people and he uses them to work. And what I took from that is, because I was sleeping at that point, but my spirit seemed to be in heaven, and he was there or she was there telling me that I was there to work. For an example, just the other night or a few nights ago, I was in this realm. I saw their leader down there, and I saw a platform. It was just like a big platform. I don't know, it's just really hard to explain. It was a heavenly realm, and I saw this line of giants or titans. Now, they were actually against the enemy for some reason, and they were being held hostage by their necks. So they were kind of trapped in these machines, and they were being held by their necks as if they were in jail, but it wasn't the type of jail that you would go into at bars and all that. They were these huge metal machines that held them by their necks. And so I saw him doing his thing, and then I saw this one guy introducing himself, and he said that when he was introducing himself, he said that he was a Neptune. Now, Neptune is another name for Poseidon. You know, some believe that he's Satan, some believe that he's a different fallen angel, but I'm there and I get to notice some of these things, and it's just really crazy, all the stuff that goes on. And I even hear things sometimes, like when they come into this place, brothers and sisters, I'm not trying to exaggerate. They come and attack me very, very hard. The enemy himself will come and show himself and try to take me out because he knows what the Lord has in store for me. I mean, just a few nights ago, I had a vision where he showed himself to me. I think he had a grin on his face, but he was a red dragon sitting on just like darker throne. I believe it was a throne, and it was darker, and he's just kind of grinning at me, just looking like a pure red dragon. One time I had him in this vision, and he was saying, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then I started to tell him, and then when I told him Raphael, he got so mad at me. I noticed at some point that his eyes started to turn black, so I grabbed him by his shirt, and I said, "Who are you?" So, "What is your name?" He says, Samael. I said, "What is your name?" And for some reason I asked him again. He says, Samael. And so I realized that was the enemy. That was the fallen angel Lucifer. Even when he sends his minions here, a lot of times the Lord allows me to hear them, and I heard them clearly say, "Death said failure is not an option." And so they are failing because Jesus has already won. And as long as you stay repentant, you stay in relationship with Christ, read your scriptures, praise the Lord, and you just don't give in, you know, you keep running this race and keep your faith and your eyes on Christ, he can never win, brothers and sisters. He loses. And so I think there's turmoil in their kingdom because they know their time is short and they're losing. And so I would hear stuff like that, him telling his minions, or his minions saying, "Death said failure is not an option." And so much stuff like this is going on. And right now I look at my clock and it's 5:50, another number I've been seeing a lot. One of the meanings there is the eagle, and I have been having a lot of dreams about the eagle. And that's beside the point. I just brought it up because I was looking at the time and it was 5:50, and that happens to be on my license plate. My license plate on my car, the numbers on it are 5:50. Go figure. I could tell you some of the crazy experiences that I go through. Just a few days ago, I was in a vision or a dream, and I walked into this room, and I see this lady there with long brown hair, and she says to me, the first thing she says to me is, "I am wisdom." No, I don't think she's wisdom, and I'll tell you why. So I walk in, and that's the first thing she says, and she starts to question me. She's like, "Who are you?" And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I actually said it out loud. I said, well, if I tell you, you wouldn't believe me anyway. And so I kind of kept it to myself. But then I just went ahead and said it, that I am Raphael. And that I said, on the earth, I was also Moses, or I'm Moses. And, but if she was really wisdom, she wouldn't have to ask me that, because wisdom knows all. So, well, as far as I know. So, yeah, so just crazy things. They try to deceive so much. I have so many crazy stories like that. One time I was laying in my bed, and I had Lucifer, and I'm almost 99.9% sure it was him, and his blonde, curly hair. But sometimes I see him with long hair, curly hair, but he flies into my bed. I mean, I'm laying in my bed. I can't move my legs, just my upper body. And in my bed, I have a fallen angel in my bed. I mean, physical, brothers and sisters. His face was into the pillow covers. And I was touched. I started to try to choke it. I took my hands and I wrapped it around its neck, and I was like, I think I started to rebuke it and just get it out of there in the name of Jesus Christ. And this thing stuck its butt up in the air while my hands are on its neck. I can feel the skin. It was real. I mean, I could feel the skin on my hands as I'm trying to choke the back of its neck out. And I'm just about to start to try to punch this thing out, and then it's saying a cuss word. I'm not going to say the word, but it's saying, take me. It sticks its butt up in the air and tries to get sexual and says, take me, but it says a bad word in the front of it, not take. But, I'm not going to repeat that on here. And I'm just rebuking it, and then I'm trying to punch it out. I mean, I have some really strange experiences where the enemy countless times has tried to come and ruin the destiny that the Lord has in store for me, and he does it for all of you. He is not only a murderer, he is a thief. He's always trying to steal your crown. And so just make sure, brothers and sisters, to keep your eyes focused on Jesus Christ. Just whatever you do, do not give up. And I ask all of you as well, with all of my heart, to not take the vax. Don't take it. Don't even take the test they give you. There are some online who even have proof that magnets are sticking to the injection sites, meaning that there is probably nanobots in there, which means that you could be microchipped. They have metal detectors they put up to the injection sites, and they go off really bad, or they have magnets sticking to it. That's not a good sign. And don't even take the test. They take a long Q-tip, and I've watched a video where there was a silver substance on the end of the test for it. The one where they shove it way down your nostrils to get it really close to your brain, and they test you for it. They're saying that even without a person touching it, that those Q-tips are testing positive for it. And there are metal detectors going off and magnets going off with these Q-tips. And I even watched this one video to where there was a silver substance on it that was magnetic. And so when the Bible says that people are going to be deceived into taking it, that it goes in the forehead or in the hand. Now, that doesn't only mean it only has to go there. They can pretty much put it wherever they want to. But so imagine this, the Q-tip with this silver substance that's more than likely nanobots, which is more than likely microchips. They're shoving it way down your nostrils into like really close to your brain, and so that it gets into your brain. And the Bible says that it'll be in their forehead. So imagine that. How else thousands of years ago are you going to explain something like that? It's in the forehead. Well, if it goes through your nose and it almost to your brain, that's pretty much in your forehead. And then where it says in, it's really not on. The correct translation is supposed to be in. And so what happens when somebody sticks you with a needle? It's going in you. I even had another vision a few weeks ago. Actually, no, it was a few days ago. I was in a mobile unit. I was in a camper or an RV, just like I am now, but this one was a little nicer in the dream. I was there with one of the witnesses. I was there with John the Baptist. It was me and John the Baptist in a mobile camper or RV. I believe that the enemy at some part of this dream was trying to give the mark, and there was a part to where he kept trying to poke with this needle. I have felt like if he poked me with it, that I would catch some kind of disease in the dream. But he was trying to deceive in this, saying that if I was poked with it, that I wouldn't catch a disease, that I would become strong. And there are different aspects of this vax. They're working on this thing that's called Lucifer Ace, which I believe stands for Lucifer's race. Just like the giants. Yeah, they were strong, but it was a fleshly strong, and it's not a type of strong that would get you into the kingdom. You want to be spiritually strong. And so I just think this whole thing is a deception. And then at the end of this particular thing, I was there on a bus, and I looked under my seat, and I saw a big pile of gold jewelry, male gold jewelry. I picked up this male gold chain, and on this chain was a large gold eagle. And that part of the vision caught my eye because I've had a lot of stuff about being the Lord's eagle. When I see myself as a cherubim, I see myself either as an eagle or a royal tiger, and I've seen myself as both of those. And that wasn't the only part of this dream. There was one other part. There was a part of this to where I was getting attacked really bad, and I let out a war cry. I don't know why I did this. Most of the time you can't control what you do in a dream. But I'm starting to be attacked, and I let out this war cry. I'm about to go fight, and I say, I am Raphael. And then I believe I went to go fight, and that was the end of that scene. And then later on is when I go to the bus and I find the gold men's chain with a gold eagle on it. Now, I don't believe in men wearing those, but that was just in this particular vision, and like the one I just shared with you guys a few weeks ago. If I remember correctly, it was the one to where I was taking an army into the enemy's kingdom, and I saw the eagle, which represented me, and I saw my military fighting the bad guys. I saw their columns falling, and the scene shook as if we were bringing their kingdom low. And the Lord showed a big eagle coming over the scene that I knew represented me as Raphael, and the whole thing shook as we we're doing the Lord's bidding, and we're bringing this kingdom low. And so there are a lot of cool things like that the Lord has been showing me. I've had things like seeing a huge eagle head coming out of a body of water, and it had just the water rolling off of its head. And then I would look in a different vision, and I saw Father and Jesus. I'm not sure which one it was, so I'll just say both because it's the Godhead, represented as a huge eagle. And so I looked on the back of this eagle, and I saw me. I was a baby eagle. I was a small eagle riding on the back of the Lord as a giant eagle. And I looked at myself, right? I was an eagle, but then I looked and I transformed into an angel with wings, human form with wings like an angel. And it's just as if I was transforming back and forth from eagle to angel. It's as if the Father was saying, you're an eagle like me, kind of thing, And then there is this one to where I was leading the armies of the Lord, and I was trying to protect my princess, a woman, so I had her hid somewhere. I saw the dragon and all. A big red dragon was there. He was leading the armies of the fallen, and he came down, and we're just all fighting and stuff, right? And he ended up finding out where she was and took her to space. And so I found out that she was taken, and she was put in this container with a glass window, and I could see her in there in space, and there was water in there as if she was almost drowning. And so as I saw that, Father God was there as a huge eagle, and he starts to just screeching, as an eagle, like whatever noise they make, he's just screeching like an eagle would screech, and he goes into heaven. And then I feel, as he's going up, I feel myself become one with him. We were both eagles, and I combined with him to become one with him. Next thing you know, I see myself just flying into heaven like an eagle, and I see myself as this huge eagle, and I'm combined with the Godhead, and I'm making this huge eagle noise like screech. I don't know how they do that, but just screeching. And I knew that I was there, and I was going to get this woman with all of my might. The Lord has gave me so much when it comes to angelic stuff. I've even had dreams and visions to where I was called things like a cherub. For example, there was this one time where I was talking to this angel or this lady, she hinted to me, she says, it's not like I'm an anointed cherub or anything, but she did it to me to where she was pretty much saying, you're an anointed cherub. That's what she was telling me. And then I've had another vision to where I was called a cherub seraph. So I was called the singular of both, as if I was cherub, but of the order of seraph. I was called a cherub seraph. Which is strange about that, though, is I've had a few friends in their visions, I was called a seraph. I've even had the fallen, if I remember correctly, ask me in visions or dreams. I think I was on spying missions again, and there'd be like one guy kind of caught me, I think, and he's like, you're a cherub, huh? Or are you a cherub? Like, they would question me about these things. But I've had so many dreams and visions about being one of the 4 archangels, the 4 throne angels. I mean, so many. And I've had a close to or over 100 dreams, visions, audibles, and witnesses and confirmations from other people altogether, just of being Archangel Raphael. I mean, just so many that I'd be faithless not to believe. The Lord has just blown my mind with all the revelation that He has blessed me with. And all this stuff did not start until I went to heaven and I asked for the gift of remembrance. Now, when I asked that, I was just asking because I had a bad memory. But the Lord blessed me with a better aspect of that gift. He started to let me remember who I was. Not only who I was, but who I will be. He was giving me my memory back. And then all of a sudden, right after that, I started to have visions to where I hear angels knocking on my wall saying, Raphael, Raphael, Raphael. Like after I was asking who I was, and I mean, it just started to go vision after vision, dream after dream, audible after audible, friend after friend, having confirmations and witnesses confirming to what I'm saying to you guys. So when I tell you these things, it's not something that I might have heard one time or I'm making it up. These are things I'm being told over and over and over after the Lord giving me the gift of remembrance. It's just amazing. And since I just brought that vision up, or that experience of asking for the gift of remembrance, I think I might have had a new revelation, but some of you might not like this one. But when I was in heaven, I was talking to this blonde angel. I'm not sure who she was. She was female, sitting at a desk. Jesus was there, but He was invisible. And when I asked her for the gift to remember, she looked away as if she was asking Jesus or, Father. And she got a yes from it, but I couldn't see Him because He was invisible in the scene. But she said yes to me. Now, before I asked for the gift of remembrance, I think the order of this was when I walked in, she was at this desk. It looked like as if she was sitting in a chair in the clouds. So it definitely was a heavenly angelic scene. Now, she had this audio playing about Michael getting ready for war. The armies are preparing, and when I first rolled in there, I was like, can you turn that up? I can't hear that too well. She's like, you can't hear that good? I was like, no. And I think she turned it up. And you guys know that the Lord has showed me that I'm Raphael, but that I've said this a lot, but it's the Lord has showed me that. Well, I started to have all these dreams and visions about leading God's armies, and I didn't understand it because I've always been shown that Michael led the armies. And I was getting dreams and visions of being told that I've been voted to lead God's armies. So I finally started to have dreams and visions showing me that I had been voted to do that. And I even had an opportunity. God sent one of His angels. He showed me in vision, started to talk to me about being raised up. And then He let me straightforward ask Him. I said, how am I going to lead God's armies if Michael leads? And this angel said, yes, Michael led under the old covenant, but you shall lead under the new. And then, I started to learn and be shown things pointing to that the leader of the military has the title of the Michael. I was shown that in the new, my twin brother is Michael, that I will be the older of the 2 twins. And we will be the 2 firstborn sons to Jesus, twins. And I know that kind of sounds out there, but I've been shown it, and I'm pretty positive about it. And I've been shown that as the devoted new leader of the armies, that even though my brother Michael is still an archangel, he still leads things, he's still there as my twin, that as Raphael, I have the title of the Michael. Even in these texts I found, it was talking about how there will be an angel who comes in the authority of the Michael. It's not saying it's Michael, it's saying it's an angel in the authority of the Michael. And so here is what I think the Lord might have been showing me. When I was in that heavenly vision and I pulled up to Jesus being invisible, and this woman, whether she was an angel or wisdom, I'm not sure who she was, she had this stuff playing about Michael, getting him ready to lead the armies, or him leading and the armies getting ready. Were they talking about my brother Michael in days of old, or was that early confirmation, an early hint, revelation to me being the new Michael? So why were they playing that when I was there? And I'm just now finding out now, but that was an older vision, that I'm in the title of the Michael, even though I'm Raphael, I'm not Michael. I hope that makes sense to you. And so when I pulled up and they were playing that music, and I was like, I can't hear it too well, can you turn it up? And it was about getting the armies ready and Michael being ready, getting ready, or I forgot the exact words, but that's what it was about, summarizing, paraphrasing there. Where it was the Lord actually showing me something about me getting ready to lead the armies in the new. And then whenever I said, can I have the gift of remembrance, was that the Lord bringing that to my remembrance also? Do you see what I'm saying? Did he want me to ask that anyway? And I not only was getting told who I was, but that I also was getting shown, pointed to that, why I was listening to that music in the first place. I was being prepared, getting ready to help lead the Lord's armies. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense to you. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think so, brothers and sisters. But of course I want to keep praying about it and pondering it, but I really do think this is what the Lord is leading me to. Now, I have so many dreams here, and I just was talking about so many random things that I'm going to have to just quickly get to a few dreams and visions before I don't get to any of these in this video. I used to have visions of the Lord giving me this glorified, I guess I call it a superpower, whatever you want to call it. It was like a sun weapon. I would call it a sun weapon. I'd be being attacked in these dreams and visions, and I had the ability to kind of curl up a little bit and then boom, explode. It was like I was releasing the energy of a sun, and I was just disintegrating the fallen angels that were trying to attack me. Once they were running at me, and I was just punching them, like kind of like Matrix style thing, like barely moving, and I was just punching them away from me. And then one time I said, I was thinking pretty much enough, and I used whatever power I had, and they turned to ash. Like I had power over matter. And so I've been seeing that I had this ability to kind of explode like a sun and to release energy. And once I was even told, and I won't give you an explanation for this, I'll let you think about it yourself, but I was told that my sun weapon is my 6th round rotation. My sun weapon is my 6th round round rotation. And so I had this one. I was being attacked in this experience. I was sleeping, but I was in this place. I'm not sure where I was. Maybe in a fallen kingdom. I just know that I felt like I had all these different evil spirits charging me, or fallen angels charging me. Then all of a sudden, I curled in my body, like I'm about to strain my arms and stuff. Like I pull them in a little bit and I strain as if I'm about to use the power that I have in me. And then, boom, what explodes out of me is just this gold fire. It looked like I was standing in the middle of a Cat 5 tornado, right? That's I guess that's the biggest tornado you can have, unless they went to 6. But it was as if I was making a Cat 5 tornado or whirlwind or hurricane, and I see this beautiful gold fire just swirling around my body. And I knew it was coming from me. Like that was one of the powers that I was having. Maybe this was part of that sun weapon I was being told about. I'm not sure. But I curled my arms up and I just exploded. as if this Cat 5 gold fire started to swirl around me, just destroying the fallen that were coming near me to attack me. It was just so beautiful. And honestly, if we do get to have abilities, and I'm pretty sure we will, that will be a pretty awesome one to have. I mean, it was actually beautiful too, how it was all gold. It was just the most beautiful fire that I've ever seen. The next thing that I want to share with you guys is an experience I had. It was a personal experience. But before I do that, I got to quickly explain this really quick vision or dream that I had. In this vision, I was living at my old address. I grew up at an address where the number for it was 39. It was 39 Glenwood Street. Now, 39, if you look it up in Google, the number 39 is part of a Bible Will thing. One of the main meanings there is Moses. So I just found out that the Lord told me that I am Moses, and I grew up most of my life, or a good portion of it, at a house with the number 39 that means Moses. Now, that's what was going on in this vision. I was at this place, 39 Glenwood Street, which means Moses, and there was also an aspect of it to where there was this box truck that drove by in the vision down the road right in front of me, and it had I believe it was the number 120 on it. It was either 120 or 121. I just knew that the number in Strong's means Adam, and so I see this box truck go by with that number on it, and this is my experience. I recently had to go wash clothes and go find a place to be able to do that, because the one that was close to my little camper had shut down. And then I went and drive down the road, and a different one was shut down. I'm like, oh goodness, how am I going to even wash clothes? And so I went far away, and it wasn't that far, but I went to my old neighborhood where I used to live, the one that was 39 Glenwood Street. And so as I'm washing the clothes, because there's a washateria, laundromat, whatever you want to call it, right next to that old house. And so I put the clothes to wash and dry, and all that, and I go for a walk around the block, and I'm walking down that street with the old house. And I used to love this house, I was growing up at this house. And I look on the mailbox. It said 39, and I took a picture too. I have it on my phone. It said 39, and then it had the last name of the family that lives there. And guess what the name was? It was 39, and under that, or above that, the name was Adams. The name was Adams. And I was like, are you kidding me? You got to be joking me. Because in that vision I had a couple months ago, or a year, whenever it was, remember I told you I was living at 39 Glenwood Street, which means Moses, 39 in Bible Will, the number 39. But then I saw a box truck go by with 120 on it, which means Adam. And so I'm walking down that road, and the family's name that lives there now is Adams. And I'm like, you got to be joking me. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. And so I just had to share that with you guys. And if that's not enough, I just had a few days ago, a matter of fact, this was May 20th, I have it marked here, I had another experience. It was a vision, and it was really, really strong, and it was in my spirit. I was having a vision, being told something about being the number 39 or being 39. It was like being in relation to it, and then all of a sudden, I feel this huge build up in my spirit. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. It was as if God was making, how in a movie they have like the climax, the portion where it gets all serious, and then boom, something weird happens, or crazy, or powerful. Well, that's how this vision was. It started off where I was being told something about being this, or being a number, or being, I don't know, it's just about 39, which I just told you means Moses, right? And so all of a sudden, it's building up, and then in my spirit, like audibly in this vision, I hear, "You're Moses," like loud. So, you know what I mean? You're Moses. Boom. It was like climaxing in the spirit. Like, I don't know how to explain that to you guys. It just got more powerful. And then it was like, boom, you're Moses. And then I was like, oh my goodness, what was that about? I don't know, maybe it was just a powerful confirmation. I'm not sure. And then I had the numbers for this. I got the number 956 in Bible Will. I noticed that the first and second word in this Bible Will was both leave. So the first and second word were both leave. Double confirmation there. And then I got the number 520 because this happened on the date of May 20th. So 520 in Strong's, I got to lead away. We already know that the Lord has showed us that with the gathering and the greater Exodus, the second Exodus. And so I got to lead away in 520, the date again, 520 in Bible Will. One of the meanings is lawgiver. Lawgiver. So the Father gave me this vision on the date that it actually means lawgiver, to lead away, leave 2 times. So it's not only lead to lead away, but I had it at 9:56 p.m. and 9:56 in Bible Will is the first and second word there is leave. So leave, to lead away, lawgiver. Moses, you're Moses. I mean, you just can't make this up, guys. Only God can do this. Now, I still have some dreams and visions that I want to share with you. I have a few visions here, and so I'm going to kind of go through these a little quick for you. Now, this first one, I believe I saw myself as Moses. It was maybe a scene from Exodus chapter 34, verses 29 to 35. I believe I saw myself as Moses, looking like an older Moses. I had curly, longer than shoulder hair, curly gray hair, and I was wearing a robe. Like I said, I was older and my face was glowing. Now, I could still see my eyes, but my face was completely glowing. I got the number 604 for this, 604 in Bible Will. I got watch and gather. And as far as watch, remember, I just had that vision not too long ago where I said in the vision, I am Moses, leader of the midnight watch. And then I got the number 29. 29 in Strong's is Yah is my father. So that was a pretty interesting vision. I believe it was just the Lord blessing me with another confirmation and showing me what it looked like. He showed me multiple scenes now, giving me my remembrance. Remember, the gift of remembrance. He's been giving me memory or visionary scenes of what it looked like whenever I did certain things as Moses in the past. This next vision was kind of strange. It might have been the fallen attacking me. I'm not sure though. I heard audibly something about the hand of God, but it was weird. The way they were doing it, it was talking about me being a hand or the hand of God. It said something about stolen from the hand of God is what I think I heard. But it was like they were saying something about trying to take something from me. You know what I mean? The devil tries to steal, kill, and destroy. And I believe that Michael and Raphael would be the ones to be at the left and the right hand of the Lord, and who are also the 2 witnesses, Moses and Elijah. Or, Elijah is John the Baptist. I believe that Elijah will come as John the Baptist. And they both would be, because the throne faces the east, and the north will be on one side and the south will be on the other. And so when you are at one side or the other of the Lord, you're kind of like being his hand. So I think it was just symbolic of that in a way. And I don't really know what to make of it, but I just thought I'd share it with you guys because it was pretty interesting. The next vision was also an audible vision. And I heard someone say, Your Majesty. So they were addressing me as a king again. They said, Your Majesty. This happened at 226. 226 in Strong's is to speak the truth and a sign. And then 226 in Bible Will, the very first word was rule. Go figure. The first word was rule. And then, a little down the list, I see the word north. You guys know that I'm being shown a lot on the north. The next one is also an audible. It's pretty neat what I heard. I heard, they moved me to the wings of the mountain. No idea what that means. They moved me to the wings of the mountain. How neat is that? So I heard that, but I'm still praying on it. I also had a vision. I was being told something about 4 sons were about to be birthed. And then I've had other visions to where I was told things about being one of the 4 throne angels. And I even heard the Father say one time, I'm proud of the bride or the woman as I'm proud of pleased with my 4 sons. And I knew he meant the 4 throne angels, Raphael, Michael, Uriel, and Gabriel. The next one was really quick, but it was a really beautiful yellow-haired princess. I'm not sure who she was. I'm guessing she's my companion, or she might have been symbolic for something else. But this yellow-haired princess was so beautiful that it almost looked anime. I don't think it was anime, but that's just how pretty she looked. You know how anime, they're so perfect because the way they're drawn? Well, she looked almost animated me because she was just so beautiful and perfect. And yeah, that's all that was. I had a vision that was really quick, but to explain what I think it means, I have to explain another dream for you. So I'm basically going to explain 2 more dreams and then I'll close out this video. But I had an older dream to where I looked up and I saw 2 levels. I saw kind of like in space, you know, you have, I don't know, it was just weird. It was as if I was looking at 2 different levels in the air. And they both had white snow, which could have been nuclear fallout from nuclear war. I saw white bears running everywhere, which I think was symbolic of Russia and maybe war. It could have been also symbolic of the United States or Babylon being taken out in an hour. And so all of a sudden I go to this cliff. And I think I start to climb this rock face cliff, but then there's like a little house on the edge of this cliff, and me and I believe it was John the Baptist as Elijah, so I believe it was me as Moses and Elijah. We go into this little room on the side of the cliff. The door locks, the lights go off, and it goes dark. And I just remember that we couldn't leave that space or that room until the lights came back on. I think while we were in that room that there was a huge earthquake, because I remember things moving, and I think I remember rocks falling off the cliff. So I think there is this great moving that happened around that time period. And then all of a sudden the lights clicked back on. If I remember correctly, the lights clicked on, and then me and him got out and we start climbing this rock face. So we're climbing it, we get to the top, and all of a sudden I'm just crying because I'm looking and there's just so much chaos going on. There are lions running everywhere, symbolic of fallen angels, Nephilim. I see all these men that are in black. They just look all black, you know, just darkness. They had these machine guns, and they were just, if I remember correctly, they were firing on people. And it was just symbolic of the FEMA camps. People were enslaved in these fenced-in areas, and the lions are running everywhere. And me and him, we start to run, and we get out of these gates before they close them. So we make it, and we're running, and off in the distance there is this big mountain. Me and him, just like Superman, we launch up into the air and we fly up into this mountain. And on a side note, when I told you guys about that vision where I had the gold fire all around me, I wasn't on the ground. I was flying up in the air when I was doing that, just because I forgot to tell you guys about that. But I see this mountain, and we jump up, and I jump up onto this high mountain, and there is this comfortable bed just waiting for me on the top of this mountain. You know, it's just there for a rest. And then when I get up there, I have a girl who just waiting for me there. Could have been my companion. I'm not sure who she was, but she was there with a ball of yarn, or I think it was a ball of yarn or something like that in her hand. And I had a dash on my foot. You know how the enemy will strike at Jesus in our heels, but we will crush his head. So I was there, and I had a cut on the bottom of my foot by my heel, and she had a ball of yarn in her hand, and she was sewing my cut by my heel with this yarn. And I was just laying there, resting there, and then my guardian angel, who's really a male angel, but for some reason, again, he came over like an elderly black woman, and he gives me my white robe. And for some reason, you know, I'm thinking I'm as big as I am now, and I'm like, you have that thing in XXX, because I don't know if I'm gonna fit that. And you know, because I was thinking in my own, you know, the way I think now. And then she's like, yeah, and then so I got my white robes. And yeah, I think that was just a scene of, you know, I don't know, maybe going to the island, the wedding supper, just going there to rest. And so yeah, that was pretty amazing. So I had this vision of that rock face again, and then I saw a bubble in the rock face go down or up, like it just moved in the rock face. I think it was symbolic of it being time for the darkness, because that bubble came down, and that little space on the cliff on the side of it is where me and Elijah had waited when the door shut and it got dark. Well, me and him were waiting in that space on the side of the cliff while it was dark, so we had to wait there until it got light again before we went outside of it. And so in this vision, it was simple. I saw a bubble on a bubble on the cliff face move into position, as if it was telling me it's time to get in there because it's about to be dark. Now, I will share this final dream. This is an experience I had that, and it's a reoccurring experience. I believe this is one of the places I go as a spy. Now, there is this place, and like I said, I've been there multiple times. There is this long river. Now, along this river, there is like this carnival or fair atmosphere. And I remember looking down this bayou, like I live in Louisiana, so, we have bayous here. But I looked down this river, and I know that off in the distance, there is just like carnival, fair, beach-type atmosphere down the way. If you go on some of these missions, or if you have bad visions and you see the way the fallen act, they're like fraternity and sorority people. They're just really rebellious and kind of like to party, and they're just evil, and they're actually really childish in a lot of ways. I've seen them at swimming pools, partying, and I could tell you guys some stories about those things, but. So in this particular experience, I'm in this realm, I'm flying in the air, kind of floating above the ground. I'm kind of moving forward, but like I said, I'm not walking, I'm just kind of floating and flying forward. It's a really busy area, and there seem to be fallen, and I guess you could say Nephilim. I mean, these people aren't like us. These are, I believe they all were fallen. Except for the good angels that were there as spies, you know what I mean? But so I'm floating and I'm walking in this busy part of this little area, and they're partying. It's like a little carnival type area. There might have been stores lined on the sides, and I believe I'm in a robe and I'm floating down, and then I noticed that I walked past this one person. I think he was a fallen angel. I might have knew him because I turn around as I'm floating in the air, and maybe I recognize him because I look at him pretty hard. So he's in a robe. He's actually walking on the ground. He is in a robe. It might have been, I'm not sure. It might have been blue or red. I don't know. I forgot what color it was, but he was African, or he was black, sorry. And he was in like a regular color robe. And as he walked past me, he kept walking, but he turned his head to me and looked as if he noticed me too, and I noticed him, and so I turned around, but I noticed as I stop and look at him, he keeps walking, and he kind of turns his head and he looks at me, but then he keeps walking straight. So there was some type of recognition in that realm that was going on there. I even walked past this one guy sitting down, and he kind of like, hey, like he recognized me or something. He taps me and I'm like, what's up, or hello, and I keep walking. I then feel like I might have traveled to a different land. This place reminded me of Halloween or Easter because they would collect things in bags. I was there walking with my mom, but see, it wasn't my real mom like my earth mom. Her name is Angela, which means angel or messenger, so she's usually symbolic of either a companion, a warrior companion, or Holy Spirit, just kind of being with me there on the mission. On a quick side note, my mom's name was Angela, or is Angela, and my dad's name was Marty, which means God of War. Isn't that weird? The Lord shows me that I'm Raphael, leading his armies, and I was born with a mom whose name means Angela, messenger, and my dad, he's dead now, but his name was Marty, which means God of War. I just see the Lord putting me in that situation, and then he has me grow up at a house that's 39 Glenwood Street, and 39 means Moses. I mean, the Lord was setting that up. And just another little side note, sorry, I'm getting off the dream here, but earlier I was looking up, something, and it showed the most popular name for the year I was born. And the name that was most popular for the year I was born was Michael. It being the new Michael and the title of, you see what I'm saying? And I was like, oh my goodness, the way the Lord does this. And then I looked up my earth name, or my given name that I had, being born recently, Jason. And I looked it up on this little chart which tells you the Hebrew equivalent for the name that you have. And the Hebrew equivalent for Jason is, get this, Raphael, or it says Raphaela. So I have one more cool fact, and then I'll continue. It's just all coming to my mind. And then the year I was born, okay, I'm against the Catholic Church. but they have a thing where they have these feasts at the different, days and years and all that. And so I was born December 27th, 1978. Now, I was just looking at this kind of information on there, and it gives you they do this like little festival or celebration for John the Apostle. And guess what day they do it on? My birthday. The same day they do the festival or whatever they do for the Apostle John is the day of my birthday. December 27th is the same day that, and God showed me that Moses and John the Apostle are the same exact spirit, that of Raphael. And the day that they do this little celebration for John the Apostle is on my birthday. I mean, is this all coincidence? I think not. Just little fun facts that I thought I'd share with you guys. Okay, now I'll really get back to the dream. So me and Angela, we are walking in this realm, and we get to the very outskirts of it. Now, in this dream, I thought at first that I was in my old hometown growing up when I was a baby being born, but I get to the outskirts with Angela, and who is playing my mom in this, and I realize that I'm not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Like, I'm in some other realm. I don't know, like where I was, another planet, another dimension. I was like, where am I? And I start to become a little more aware. Now, I really do believe that we are undercover, and I look at myself, I look at our arms and my arms, and we were definitely transformed. I look like a mix of alien and a robot, all mixed in one. My arms had different, one arm on each side, but they looked like they had different arms coming off those arms. They looked robotic and alien, all mixed in one, and I'm like looking at these things thinking, how does this work? And we're carrying a bag as if we're undercover, and this bag had little bits of electronic parts all up in this bag. And so we're walking, we get to this busy part of where we're at, and I really do think we're undercover here. But all of a sudden, some type of little monster is in our bag, and it's starting to eat our electronic equipment, and it's starting to bring a little too much attention to us. And a guard supposedly hears it and starts to question me and her. And as he's questioning us, he's trying to question us, and there is another guy who is kind of sitting up to my left on the wall, kind of behind me. In a second, I'm about to start becoming more and more aware, but when I see this guy by the wall, and I have the security guard as if our cover's being blown because of the little monster in the bag, I look at the guy on the left on the wall, and I'm like, who am I? Like, where am I? Like, why am I here? And I start to ask him this question. The guy on the wall then looks at me and kind of nods his head to the security guard, this authority cop type guy, and he nods to him and said, he knows. So he's kind of nodding to this guy, to me, and saying, like, the guard knows. He knows, he says. This is at the point to where I think I start to become aware, because even though I asked that, where am I? Who am I? I start to become aware, and then I look at him and I say, I am Raphael. And he says, in surprise, he says, the angel? And I say, the Archangel. And then, boom, I wake up. I mean, what an experience that was. And I'm having stuff like that happen all the time. Guys, I tell you that I've had close to 100, but I've had a lot more than that. I mean, every video that I make now, you guys are noticing I'm having 2, 3, 4 dreams or visions to where I'm being told or called or saying Raphael, so it's probably way, way more than that. But I'm trying to be humble and keep the numbers, keep it low as possible. But the Lord is just amazing. And I'm just so thankful for all that he's done for me, and I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video and the time that we spent together doing this. I know this is a little long, but to those who have listened to the whole video, thank you so much for giving me your time and attention, and I hope that this just gives you a little encouragement. I am nothing. I am a worm, but I just like to share these things with you because I'm hoping that it encourages you, and it gives me the opportunity to hopefully lead you to Christ, to let you know that heaven is real, that hell is real, that angels exist, and that Christ is the only way to heaven, that you must repent You must turn from sin. I invite all to be baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Brothers and sisters, you are loved more than you ever could imagine, and I thank the Lord for each and every one of you. If the Lord happens to put it on your heart to help donate to this ministry, please do. Again, I am so thankful for each and every one of you. And I say these things in the name of the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord.
You've come in the final days.
Knowing God has held you in reserve for nearly 6,000 years. You have been waiting. Or a marked generation. Your birth at this particular time was
God
foreordained.
has saved for the final inning an army valiant.
You must be prepared to meet your
O
God.
youth of the noble birthright. Part of the Lord's royal army. There are things for each of you to do that no one else can do.
You will preserve
As well as
your special privilege.
Me?